TikTok just released a massive algorithm update that makes it easier to get views, get followers, and ultimately get monetized on TikTok right now than ever before. All you have to do is make sure that you're posting at the right time, you're using the right features, and 3 other things I'm going to share with you towards the end of this video. In fact, I just use these things to gain over 100,000 followers on a brand new account, and I hope this creator and this creator do the same exact thing, and you will be able to do this too, so long as you don't skip any of these steps, because it's easier than ever before right now to grow on TikTok. Step number 1 is you need to make sure that you're posting at the right time on TikTok. And there are 3 specific times that you need to make sure that you test. The first one is going to be 11 a.m. The second is going to be 4 p.m. And then the third is going to be 7 p.m. Now you could move that by 30 minutes up or 30 minutes down. And you want to post in those times for the next week in order to figure out the best time to post for your specific account. Because here's the deal. Depending on where you're located, depending on what kind of content you actually upload, this is going to change when you should actually be posting. For example, I find on my account that when I post anywhere from 4 to 5 p.m., it does really well. If I post that same exact video at 11, it doesn't do well. If I post that same exact video at 7, it doesn't do well, but you need to figure this out for your specific account. So don't just blindly take somebody else's advice. You need to actually be testing this out, and ideally, you should be testing this out all the time. And the same exact thing comes when it talks about how frequently you should be posting on TikTok. I find best 1 to 2 times a day for my personal account. But I have clients that post 10, 12 times a day, so it really depends on your niche, but what you should really be focused on is the overall amount of views that you're getting. Don't just look at your videos and say, hey, I always want to get over 10,000 views or 50,000 views. That's a bad way to look at it, because maybe if you posted more, your overall number of views, which would be higher, which would mean that you get more followers and ultimately you're able to make more money from TikTok. But that was just the first change. There are still 4 more, but before we get into them, I wanted to remind you that if you text audit to this number right here, or go to the description below, I'll give you a free audit that tells you everything that you need to do in order to improve your TikTok from where it currently is. Now, change number 2 is that you need to make sure that right now you're uploading your content the right way, and I can't emphasize this enough. Okay, so here are the correct settings that you need to make sure are enabled when you actually go to post something on TikTok. What we're gonna do is we're gonna walk through posting one of my drafts. So I have this video right here that I'm gonna be uploading lately, that I'm gonna be uploading later, that shows you how to get ChatGPT for free. So the first thing that you want to make sure that you do is you want to make sure that you come over here and you want to edit this cover so that it shows the thing that is actually going to get people to click. For example, on this video right here, it's going to be this right here. Try ChatGPT for free. When people see that on the thumbnail, it's going to get them to click. This matters not because people will be scrolling your page and looking at it, but because people are going to be searching for things, and when they find that, it's actually going to show a better thumbnail and then increase the odds that people click on your video, and then as a result, you end up getting more views. And this is actually a secret hack for you to be able to make more money with TikTok, because TikTok wants to push out content that ranks for search. Now, from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna save that, and then we need to add in a description. With this description, you wanna make sure that it has the same exact keywords that show in the hook of the video, and ideally, it should be like 1 to 3 sentences, no longer than that. So we're gonna come over here and we're gonna say, this is how you get ChatGPT for free. So we're gonna put this right here for free. For this right here, I am only going to keep this to 1 sentence. For some niches and for some posts, you might wanna make it a little bit longer, but for this one, I'm not gonna do that. And then from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna click return a few times, we're gonna open up hashtags, and we're going to add 3 relevant hashtags. Now you need to make sure that these hashtags right here are going to be the biggest hashtags that possibly show. If you come over here and look at this, we can see ChatGPT hack is big. If we come over here and we look at ChatGPT prompts, we could see this is also big. So you want to make sure that they are the biggest hashtags that you could possibly be using. Now, from here, you should only add a location right here if your post is specific. For example, if I was doing a restaurant review, I would then tag that city or that town that I'm in. If you're not doing something like that that's hyper specific to the location, for example, mine's not, then please do not fill that in. In addition to that, you have to come down here, add link. This is kind of useless, so there's nothing to do there. You want to make sure that everybody can view your post. Under more options right here, make sure that's turned on, make sure that's turned on. Post as a template, that doesn't matter. AI generated content, only turn that on if you're actually showing AI generated content or if your content was AI generated. And yes, this is really important because if you don't use this setting correctly, it could lead to you getting banned in the future. Next, identify similar products, turn that on. Add to playlist, doesn't really matter. Allow high quality, turned on. Save to device, turned on. Save post without watermark, turned on. Video language, make sure that's specific to whatever you're posting about. I'm posting in English. And then finally, audience controls, do not click that. Now from here, all you have to do is click post, and that's exactly how you post your video in order to increase your views, increase your followers, and ultimately go viral. Now this brings me to step number 3, and this is really one of the biggest algorithm shifts, and that is that you should only be posting content that is high EV. What does that mean? That there's a high expected value that when you post that content, you are going to go viral or get a lot of reach. And yes, you can actually predict this. Here's how you do that. Okay, so this is how you do this. You need to have a list of who your competitors are on TikTok. They don't need to be the most famous people. They don't need to be people that go viral all the time. Instead, it should be people that are constantly popping up. For example, I just helped one of my clients do this, and here's exactly what we did. In fact, we did this yesterday. So if we come over here, she posts about self-development. So we came over here, we did a search for self-development. Anybody that showed up recently in the last few months with a viral post, aka like over 5,000 likes, we went over here and opened them up in a new tab. Now then what this allowed us to do is go through their content and have a list of competitors in order to see what people are posting about. You don't just want to stop at self-development, because you'll see that when you type that in, a bunch of other things show up. For example, self-development for women. You're also going to want to look at this and see if there are any good posts that have done well. And if you click on the right-hand side right here, there will be others. And this is going to walk you through exactly what is trending in your niche. And then what that does is allows you to have a list like this that you can check every day in order to see what topics are working, what formats are working, what lengths are working, what trends are happening in your niche. Because what you're going to find is that on any given day, if you look at the 26 top creators in your niche, it doesn't need to be 26. It could be 10, it could be 15, it could be 50. When you look at those individuals, you're going to find that of the people that went viral, I guarantee you, they're posting about the same topics. They're posting in the same formats. They're posting in the same lengths. Because right now, whether you love it or whether you hate it, the TikTok algorithm doesn't favor originality. Instead, it favors you actually inserting yourself in the conversation that's happening in your niche. And again, I don't want you to think about this like social media. I need to be creative. I need to be original. You need to think about this more like the news, because this is kind of how TikTok works right now. If you turn on any news channel right now, they're all talking about the same thing, but they're talking about it from a different angle. TikTok works the same exact way right now. Everybody's talking about the same thing in your niche, but they're talking about it from a different angle. And this is the secret for why TikTok actually keeps people on the app for so long. And if you take advantage of that by reverse engineering how the algorithm works, you could get a lot of views, you could get a lot of followers, and there's a huge opportunity to make money and be monetized on TikTok right now. Now, step number 4 is you need to make sure that you're increasing the amount of comments that you're actually getting on your posts. In fact, I've seen this be the number one thing correlated to going viral on TikTok right now. If you can overwhelm TikTok and get a lot of comments, the algorithm is going to push your content out because they see this as a sign of engagement. Now, you also get bonus points for this if what people are commenting is going to be related to whatever the post is. For example, if you're doing a post about the Philadelphia Eagles, or if you're doing a post about fashion, or if you're doing a post about fitness or diets, doesn't matter what it's about. It could be about Saratoga water. You need to make sure that people are commenting something around that exact thing inside of your post. And I've actually found out a really easy way to be able to get this to happen. Okay, now if we look at this video right here, this is basically exactly what I did. I got over 60,000, actually I got 57,000 views on this video. And if we come over here, it says comment AI and I will send it to you. So why did I tell people to comment AI? Because the hook of my video says things you didn't know you could do with AI, part 51. So guess what that does? Gets people interested. And then if we come over here, we'll see a bunch of people are commenting AI. And then what that does shows the TikTok algorithm, hey, They're posting about the thing that he said in the hook. They're posting about the thing that he has there, so people must be enjoying this video because the TikTok algorithm doesn't actually understand why people are posting that. It just understands that people are posting that. And if we come over to a few other of my posts, we could see that I'm doing the same exact thing. If we come over to this video right here, I did the same thing. This one's about ChatGPT prompts, ChatGPT hacks, things like that. And guess what? There are then a bunch of people that are commenting about this. They're commenting about agent mode. They're commenting about prompts. They're commenting about Genius. They're commenting about ChatGPT. And then as a result, this gets more people to actually comment. And then I got over 700,000 views on this video. And we could see that I keep doing this over and over again. And it works almost half the time. And then as a result, you end up getting way more followers than you deserve because you are actually taking advantage of how the TikTok algorithm works. And then that final thing that you need to make sure that you're doing is doubling down on all of your content that's doing well with carousels. I cannot emphasize how important this is, and it's important for 3 reasons. 1, carousel posts are incredibly easy to make, especially using AI. So this decreases the amount of time you actually have to spend creating content. Secondly, there are people on TikTok that only get shown carousels, and there are people on TikTok that only get shown videos, and there are people on TikTok that get shown both. So if you want to maximize your reach, you need to be doing both of those things. Think about it. If you were serving pizzas, let's say, at a restaurant, and some people like sauce and some people don't like sauce, what would you do? You'd serve both of them. You need to think about your content the same exact way where you're serving people both types of content because people are interested in both types of content. On top of that, getting these posts out allows you to double down on your posts without being too repetitive. So essentially what you do, whenever you have a video post do really well, make the carousel version of that and then upload that, and that could be your post for the day, or that could be an extra post for the day. Then as a result, TikTok already knows that there's a large audience for that, and then they actually push out that post. Now, if you want to grow faster on TikTok, the same exact way that I just helped this creator do it and this creator do it, I actually want to work with you one-on-one and guarantee I can help you grow faster on TikTok. In fact, I literally want to tell you everything that you need to do so that the TikTok algorithm stops hating you and you can finally get the views you want, get the followers you want, and ultimately get monetized on TikTok. Because here's the deal. Every day that you're not monetized on TikTok, you're missing money. I get paid right now $100 to $200 a day simply for making 1 to 2 posts on TikTok. So every day that you don't have that happening to you, guess what's happening? You're actually missing out on money, and it is costing you money. And that's exactly why I created my mentorship program where we can work together one-on-one, and I can guarantee I help you grow faster on TikTok so you too can cash in on this gold rush. If that sounds interesting, well, please keep watching this video because I've got a special offer for you. The opportunity to grow on TikTok and this organic reach that we're currently seeing is not going to last for forever. And the only 2 things holding you back from getting the followers that you deserve right now on TikTok and the followers that you want is 1, you haven't implemented the steps that I share with you in this video to help you get more followers. And 2, you haven't gotten into my TikTok mentorship program yet, where I literally am going to guarantee that I help you get more followers in the next 30 days, or you get your money back, 0 questions asked. And the way that this works is I'm going to tell you exactly what to post, when to post, what hashtags to use to guarantee that you get more followers in the next 30 days. If that sounds interesting, then please go to the link in the description below and get signed up right now. The average person that's gone through this program has gained over 50,000 followers, and nobody has ever gone through it and gained less than 6,500 followers if they implemented everything that I share with them. And since you're still watching this video, I'm going to assume that you're above average. So the odds of you gaining over 50,000 followers is probably quite high. And it doesn't matter what your background is or what your niche is. This program is going to help you get more results faster and easier. If you're struggling right now to grow on TikTok, you need to get into this because every single day that you wait, it's only going to get harder to grow. So what are you waiting for? Go to the link in the description below and sign up right now. You literally have absolutely nothing to lose. You're going to get more followers on TikTok, or you're going to get your money back. In fact, this creator just went through this program and gained over 10 million followers. This creator over 14 million, and this creator over 16 million. And I want you to be my next success story. So please stop procrastinating, invest in yourself now, and get the TikTok followers that ultimately you deserve. Or I strongly suggest you check out the next 2 videos I put up on the screen because they're the videos YouTube thinks you should watch next. Thank you so much for watching.